sand the sands and all deserts demands through the sky that's eternally blue. I will ride through the day and will work without pay to stay on my dear old desert home. My desert home, burning.
Traditions that are being carried on here at the Elko Cowboy Poetry Gathering are something that can't be duplicated anywhere else.
I think people come here and they sort of revel in the idea that there still is a life on the land, and that life bears fruit that is poetic and musical, and it's just very real.
I've made my living horseback for over 30 years, and I still do. It's a privilege to be able to share those things that I get to experience in real time that someone else may only know by the spoken word at a performance. So I feel like the material deserves to be handled with care, and I really want to do that skillfully.
The heritage in this community is ranching, and a lot of the great singers and cowboy poets who are at this event are from this area. They're from buckaroo culture.
If you think about it, if it weren't for Elko, there's a lot of cowboys out there that don't come to Elko or don't go to gatherings that probably write music, poetry that we don't know about. And this gives the world a chance to hear unsung cowboys.
The hills get awful quiet when you have to camp alone, and it's mighty apt to start a feller thinking. You'll almost always waken when a horseshoe hits a stone or you hear the sound of hobble chains a-clinking.
When we started this event, we really made most of our decisions based on what we thought would attract cowboys and ranch people. It's really because of the cowboy poets who I've met who I thought were courageous and decided to make a stand and say their own poems and write their own songs.
It helps a fella see himself through other people's eyes, and when he does, his pride takes quite a fall. 'Cause when you're all alone and thinking, friend, you come to realize that you're a mighty common feller after all. Bruce Kiskadden.
There's been a growth over the years that has, I think, improved the quality of work. It hasn't lessened the value of the classics, but it has certainly increased the quality of the contemporary stuff.
I've been playing for almost 5 years now at Cowboy Poetry Gatherings. And a lot of the times people will be a little worried, I think, because of my age, especially when I was younger, 14 and 15, about what I was going to be portraying as cowboy music. And I have a very different take on cowboy music. I have so much respect for the traditions, but I write from a position of a teenage girl. I write about how different it is to be a woman riding broncs and working on a ranch, and kind of my perspective of that.
Can't cut a calf and rope a cow, set a trap, shoot coyotes, hold the reins, twist a wire, sew a patch for a baby boy. They may look small.
I know a lot of young ranch kids who are great cowboys and good horsemen, and they're immersed in the culture, but not in the arts that emerged from the work. So it's great to find young people who not only can go out and get a job done, but they have embraced the art form that really is unique and specific to the cowboy culture.
We're all in this to have an art form live and survive and thrive.
That's another part of the traditions at Elko that is so important, is that we get to pass it on to the younger kids. They are the next generation after me, and that's kind of a staggering thought for me.
It expanded over the years to be more than just performance-oriented. It isn't just storytelling, poetry, and song. Other things have come in that have made it richer. It's dispelled a lot of mythology with people who don't rub shoulders with the cowboy culture or the ranching culture or the farming culture. we have a tendency to isolate and separate, and so a lot of folks who don't know sickum about cow can come here and hear the perspective of someone who that has been a centerpiece of their life.
And I think cowboys, we are a dying breed, and we need to be able to have the authority to speak in a way that people will listen.
It's an honorable profession that has diminished in numbers, and it's great to see a stronghold of that culture here being celebrated, both by rural dwellers and urban dwellers.
I think people value this. You know, they come and they're nurtured by it. Being around these other artists give me heart to go on, to keep creating, to keep performing, to keep writing new poetry, to stay engaged.
So be warned by my lot, which I know you will not, and learn about women from me.